What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hot Topic Tuesday here on the Floor POV Podcast. Happy Tuesday, happy Vault Day, happy Reset Day, and let's be honest, happy Continual Remix Day, because Remix has absorbed all of our lives, I think. I think that's safe to say. So what are we talking about this Hot Topic Tuesday? Well, I posed the question to all of you. I posted on TikTok and Instagram asking for people's wildest conspiracy theories around World of Warcraft. And I said it can be anything from the game to the company itself. What are your conspiracy theories? And I did get a lot of answers, so we're going to dive through those today. And probably some of them I'll need to follow up on, because apparently some of these conspiracy theories have data attached to them, and like you can Google it and look for this kind of stuff. So I'm very intrigued. But we're just going to go through all of the comments left on my videos between Instagram and TikTok. So this may be a little bit weirder of a video. Please note that nothing I say came directly from my mouth. I do not necessarily believe in all of these conspiracy theories. I personally don't have my own, but you guys have made me start thinking and made me want to dive a little deeper. So I just want to throw that out there, that these are other people's conspiracy theories, and I won't name you. Obviously, if you commented it on my video, people can go and see, but I won't name you. I'm just going to read your conspiracy theory. Are we ready? Let's dive right in. We're going to start with Instagram because we had less comments on Instagram than we did TikTok, and some of these comments are stupid, but some of them are legit. I think starting off with a very, very funny one is, I love when people call invincible invisible. Invisible only drops to people that either don't want it or don't know about it, which we can prove that as false. I don't think that that's like a true thing, because my husband knew about Invincible and pulled it on his third try. The second one is the bot mafia got me banned. Well, this dives down a deeper wormhole into banning in general in World of Warcraft, and the conspiracy that reporting does nothing in general, and random people get banned at random times. That is a conspiracy I'm willing to deep dive. But unfortunately for you, I do think you just got permabanned, to probably based on of what you did. Next one. The devs themselves are some of the biggest gold sellers in the game. They run the bots and they make great money selling gold, which is why they won't shut down the blatant offenders of botting. They're referring to at least what I believe they're referring to is like when you're in a major city and you just see people like selling stuff. There's people selling gold. There's people selling, all these services. They're saying that Blizzard is behind that. And honestly, I could see that, because truth be told, what a better way to run a business, right? So I could honestly see that to inflate that market, essentially, get as many people to participate in the market by inflating it yourself. And by market, I'm not talking about like the stock market. I'm talking about the market that is World of Warcraft. Inflate it. I could see that. I like where your brain is going. I need to actually, I would need some facts to be like, Okay, next one. They're changing the game so they can release it on console, or even worse, mobile. Well, we already know that's happening, right? Microsoft bought out Blizzard Entertainment, and we already know that with the one button rotation manager, that makes it super easy for somebody on console to play, because you can have one button rotation manager and keybind your like interrupts and crowd controls or controls, whatever, and play on a controller. We already know that's coming. I don't think that that's a conspiracy theory. I think it's just a matter of time when it actually comes out. I don't see World of Warcraft coming to mobile. I will make that very clear. I don't see it being a mobile game, because it's almost virtually impossible. I can't play World of Warcraft on a screen this size. Like it would be virtually, I'm sure somebody would do it, but it would be virtually impossible, right? I don't know. I don't see it going to mobile. But console, 100% yes to console. The last one on Instagram is an actual one about the game. The last one is the virus corrupted blood in WoW was in fact a test of how a virus can be spread in society. Some people argue that corrupted blood was a scientific test about how it spread, how society behaves, and how they can die in a specific amount of time. So if you guys don't remember, this is actually studied by there's many studies on it. There's many university studies that take place. It's in books. way back, there was a debuff called Corrupted Blood, which I don't actually remember what it came from, but essentially when you left the dungeon, the idea was that the corrupted blood would disappear. However, there was no boundary on it. So you leaving the dungeon and leaving that zone where you got corrupted blood, it stayed on you. So then it led to people going to these major cities, and when you stood next to somebody, they would get the corrupted blood, and it was a World of Warcraft epidemic. Blizzard had to shut down the servers entirely, reset the game. People have been studying that to see, like, that is the epitome of a virus epidemic in this world. And not to be that guy, but look at COVID. COVID hits, spreads like wildfire. Okay? You leave the dungeon, you leave the doctor's office, boom, you're infected. You're now infecting other people. It is spreading like wildfire. What do we have to do? We have to shut down entirely. Shut down for 2 weeks. Now, obviously, that didn't just make it disappear. We can't do a hard server reset. But it was used, and it's still used today, to explain how diseases and viruses can spread so quickly. So I don't know. I won't go as far as to say that Blizzard intentionally did it to study it or to have other people study it. However, I do think that there was an oversight, and maybe it was done on purpose just to see what mayhem would come out. So I'll agree with you there. But if you have never heard of that before, definitely go and look it up. It's 100% worth it. And all right, I have my tablet right here. Okay. All right. I'm just putting it onto my phone screen. Okay, here we go. So I had taken screenshots in case they got deleted. Because you never know. You genuinely never know what's going to happen with content. People can flag something and it'll get deleted, so I took screenshots. Anyways, first one. This is in no particular order. This is just how they appeared in my comment section. Azeroth is the god of WoW, and the Titans in the Void are her children. She is the equivalent of the Traveler in Destiny 2. Ooh, finding a planet to hide in, and now she's trapped and trying to help us or escape. I added the escape part. Very interesting thought. You know, I never looked at Azeroth like that. I never would have thought to look at Azeroth as potentially the bad guy. But she could be trying to escape. She could be trying to call out for help, but she's actually calling out because she can't escape on her own and she needs help to escape. And she's trapped on Azeroth because she is Azeroth. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, next one. Light and the Order aren't inherently good, and when left out of check, it destroys. AU Draenor was falling apart from the light being unchecked. Very true. My theory is that Azeroth's Titan being born will destroy the actual planet and we will have to stop it. 100%. I feel like that's 100% what the last Titan is going to be. We already know, and we're seeing it again with Legion, right? Legion Remix is reminding us about Argus, about the light, about Illidan, about how the light tried to control Illidan and take from him his scars, right? Heal his scars. And he says, I am my scars. Okay, we did see it. The light is very corrupt. Here's something you need to know about life and the game. Every person with power, whether it be fantastical magic power or legitimate power, is corrupt. Next one. Sylvanas isn't dead. She's just in the maw because of the deal she made with the queen. No, Sylvanas is not dead. No, she is in the maw because of the deal she made with Stranda. All right, do all the devs secretly play Arcane Mage? They're always cracked. This is not the first time I've heard this. I have heard that the devs play Mage. And I feel like somebody actually proved it. Like, they went around Blizzard and asked people what they play. I have heard that the devs play Mage more times than I haven't heard that. So, honestly, they probably do. And I'm not saying it because it's cracked, but it's like the OG. It's like people that play Warriors, like the OG class. but I would not be surprised. The last Titan hints at a conspiracy regarding the Titans. I think they're secretly evil, or at least not as moral as we think they are, and that there's some of the villains we fight were trying to protect us from them. Sargeras being the perfect example. A lot of people say that Sargeras was not the bad guy that he's made out to be, and he was trying to destroy Azeroth to not like get back at the Titans or like, you know, be the bad guy, but like trying to save us from the Titans. I will agree with you there. Again, anybody with inherent power is evil. Now, or corrupt, however you want to say it. My biggest thing with the Titans is not necessarily that they are like playing, and we kind of see it in Dragonflight when we go back and we learn all about the Titans and the original aspects and Alex Strauss and okay, we learn more about the Titans there. My biggest conspiracy, I would say, with the Titans is, yes, I will agree with you that they are bad. They are not the good people that were led to believe that they were just protecting the planet. And if we tie it back to the first conspiracy, or the one I just read from TikTok to start with, is Azeroth could be the bad guy. Like, Azeroth could be the evil that controls the Titans, and Sargeras found out, and Sargeras figured out their plot, and Sargeras was like, fuck you guys, I'm out of here, I don't want to be involved in this, I'm going to destroy everything you work for. So, not that Sargeras is destroying things because he is the bad guy, but he's trying to prevent the Titans from becoming as powerful as they could potentially become, and therefore destroying everything. Because remember, it's not just Azeroth that is in this world. It's no different than real life, right? It's like we're Earth and there's whole galaxies and everything outside of us, which could be destroyed. So I don't think Sargeras is a bad guy. I think if we want to go the route of Azeroth is the living, breathing Titan, and she's calling out to us because she needs help, and not because she needs help because she's in danger, but because she needs help escaping. She can't escape. The Titan in Azeroth cannot escape because it is Azeroth. And Azeroth is potentially the bad guy in control of everything. Then Sargeras could have been trying to destroy the planet because he figured that out. Okay, moving on. Next one. That crystal in Hollowfall is really that sword. I said that a long time ago. Now, does it make any sense? No, because as we go through Hollowfall, we learn that that's been there for a long time. But I said that at the beginning. Like, when I think I went into Hollowfall the first time, I was like, wait a second. Like, is that... It looks like the tip of a sword. Now, granted, it's not the same sword, but it looks like the tip of a sword. So maybe it's not that sword, but maybe it is a different sword. After the Word Soul Saga, we are going to have another faction war, but it isn't going to be Horde versus Alliance, but two new factions, where one is elves and one is something else. I do think that we're going to have to go back to an OG faction war. I think just time demands it, right? We haven't had a faction war in a hot minute. Excuse me. And I don't know that it'll be two new factions, but I think it's going to be, so if the last Titan, we're assuming that has something to do with Titans, we're going back, we're learning about Sargeras, you know, we're rewatching the sword be stabbed. All of those things we're learning right now, which is preeminently setting us up for information coming about the last Titan. Now, we obviously don't know how Midnight is going to end, but if we can assume that the last Titan will have to do with maybe Azeroth being the last Titan, right? Then if the planet gets destroyed, it's going to be a faction war on a new planet. It's going to be Warcraft again. It's going to be, we're going to invade a new planet, and there's going to be a faction there already. I think that's what it's going to be. Now, where we're going to go, no idea. Turalyon is evil and planning on keeping the throne, which is why he didn't try to stop Anduin from going with Illyria to face off with Xal'atath and Priory in Hollowfall. I have my thoughts about Turalyon, and it doesn't just stop there. Turalyon, to me, never seemed trustworthy, and we learn it, we see his character the most in Argus, which, again, we're going and learning about right now, guys. Connect the dots. We see his character the most in Argus. We learn more about the light. We learn more about how he and Illyria came to be, their son. We know that in Midnight, their son is going to become, one of the paths that we can choose. We're helping him find his light as well. My issue has always been between Turalyon and Illyria. I have never understood, and I get it, like, if you're looking at it from, like, the glass half full, rose-colored glasses, the light and the dark coming together, like, Illyria's not always the void, she's good, and like, you're seeing that happen, but, like, something has never sat right with me. Something has just never made sense as to why somebody like Turalyon, who is live and die for the light, he questions every choice over the light, would end up with somebody like Illyria, who is void touched. I have never understood that, and I know there's a deeper plot at play. I know whether it was an arranged marriage or predetermined marriage, I know that something deeper is at play with Turalyon, and I don't know what it is. Do I think his butt is comfy in the throne? Yes. But it has never made sense to me. Oh, they fell in love, and oh my God. Okay, no, it has never made sense to me. Because if you look at, I personally don't know much about Varisa, but if you look at Sylvanas, dark attracted dark. Her and Nathanos, now it was never really, her and Nathanos made sense. Dark and dark, the same ideas, the same goals. I don't trust Turalyon. Okay, the Primus was the true villain. The old gods are alive. The light is more dangerous than the void. Guys, I think we're really onto something here. Azeroth's birth will force us to relocate. Sargeras will be redeemed and save us. Okay, so I think we're all kind of putting the dots together, right? Sargeras is not bad. The Titans are bad. Azeroth is not what Azeroth is made out to seem. I think we're all starting to put it together. And I think we can all agree that the light is inherently more bad than the okay, maybe not Xalatath. If we're talking that void, maybe not Dimensius and Xalatath void, but like if we're talking just like the void walkers, I think the light is a little bit more worse. I'm interested about the Primus though, because now you're bringing up something I would have never even thought. And if you and I are on the same page, I believe Primus, you're talking about what we learned about in Maldraxxus, right? I feel like we often leave out the Shadowlands. I'm going to have to dive more. Because, and I really need to start paying attention because I think it's all written out for us. I think it's all there. We just have to actually put the dots together. Stay tuned. The Emerald Dream and the Shadowlands are actually supposed to be equivalent, but Titan ordering forced the Shadowlands into a different direction and the purpose. Again, guys, we're bringing in Shadowlands. I feel like I need to go back and play Shadowlands again. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I need a dot connected. Okay, wait. Brain is turning. So you're saying that the Emerald Dream and the idea of the Shadowlands, not necessarily the jailer, but the idea of the Shadowlands are supposed to be equivalent, but the Titan ordering forced the Shadowlands into a different direction and purpose. Oh my God. I never even thought about the Titan's hand in the Shadowlands. Wait a second. Oh. Okay, I'm cooking up a theory. We're going to move on, but I'm cooking up a theory. I love that I love that back to back I had two about the Shadowlands and whatnot. I might need to replay Shadowlands. Okay. Next one. Arthas raised Stratholme not because the city was plagued, but he never liked them in the first place. Fair. Wrath was supposed to be the first expansion. Hellfire exists as an instance and was supposed to be a part of Vanilla. Also next, Rammus was supposed to signal Arthas returning. Wrath was supposed to be the first expansion. See, I don't know that I'm going to believe that, unless you have factual evidence. But I don't know that I'm going to believe that, because I think part of the reason that they went to Burning Crusade was to simply follow the story of Warcraft, where Okay, first vanilla. Now we're okay. How did the orcs get here? If you never played Warcraft, you have no idea. It's very similar. Like if you watch the Warcraft movie and you don't know the lore of Warcraft, you're like, what the fuck is going on? I don't. I think Burning Crusade was meant to be second, or technically the first expansion. Next one, Illyrian Sylvanas will take over their homeland in Silvermoon and create their own faction of elves. But what would the elves look like? Because Sylvanas is technically Forsaken. She's not an elf anymore. She's Forsaken. She's a banshee. So what faction would the elves be? Interesting. Back in Legion, when we were trapped, Sargeras... Sorry, back in Legion, when we trapped, quote-unquote, trapped Sargeras, I 100% booked the parallels between the situation and Illidan. On top of Illidan taking the role of the jailer, I don't think we were done with him, and I think we need to bring him back to help with the Void. Maybe not Midnight, but the Last Titan. To which somebody said, 100% believe that Sargeras will take his sword out of Azeroth. Then they replied, they both start fighting fire with fire. Am I wrong? Methods were always questionable, but the reasons were always right, the way I see it. They're both immediately convinced that they know exactly how to solve the problem and then set about building their armies. They're extremely similar, although Illidan is personal about the whole thing, whereas Sargeras is more ideological. And that's on purpose. Sargeras is more of like a philosophical, like think Greek mythology, like that kind of thing. Exactly. I feel like it's only become personal for Illidan once he got shunned, imprisoned, and exiled by his family and people, but the parallels are real, which leads to Sargeras coming back into a redeemed role. I like it. I'm realizing you're saying jailer, and you're not talking about the jailer. You're talking about Sargeras's jailer. We are not done with Illidan, and it's already been teased that Illidan will be coming back. It's already teased that he will have a role to play in The Last Titan, and we know, and again, guys, I've said this a million times, Legion Remix is not back for funsies. Legion Remix is back for a reason, and it is the lore. You are supposed to be remembering. Now, remember, Remix is not a funsy thing. If you actually pay attention when you're going through Remix and starting Remix, it's the same for Pandaria. They are going back in time to see what did they miss? What could have happened? What could they have changed? It's on purpose. It's not for fun. We are seeing Legion Remix not because the devs wanted to throw more content at us. We are seeing it because of the lore. Pay attention. Focus on what it is you're actually doing. If you've played Legion a million times, I get it. But refocus, especially when we get to Suramar and especially when we're in Argus. Focus your attention. Next one. The real way to win Warsong Gulch is to fight in the middle. Love it. Tell me how that goes for you. Next one. Arthas only became the Lich King because Jaina wasn't impressed when he purged Stratholme and he couldn't handle the rejection. I love how we just all... Okay. Somebody replied, mine's similar, but it's more Arthas opulent have become the Lich King. No, wait. Arthas maybe wouldn't have become the Lich King if Jaina and Uther both believed in him that he was right. I think Arthas was destined to become the Lich King. I think that was kind of like set in stone. I do think, though, that Arthas was not as good as he was made out to be. Now, remember, this is the light. We're talking about paladins. We're talking about the light, the holiness, right? This idea that if you have the light in you, you are good. And that is wrong. The light is not all powerful. Now, I think Arthas probably had some corruption in him. Now, where that came from, I can't tell you. But I don't think he was all good. I think he really, really, really meant to go out and some people. Just saying. My main man, Brew. Mancrick's wife didn't die. It was a fake to get away and she left to marry a human. I love you. The next one is the quality of WoW at the time directly influences who gets elected as a president in the US. The better the game, the worse the president. There are studies that kind of support this. So you're saying if the game is good, you get a worse president. And then if the game is bad, you get a better president. I'm going to have to look into those studies. Less a conspiracy, more a prediction. Azeroth is the Titan of free will. Aman'Thul will try to force her out to be born, and when we defeat him, she will voluntarily choose to not emerge so that we can all live. Maybe she will awake, and she can talk to the speakers easier, but not hatching the Azeroth egg. Okay, I think we're all kind of on the same boat. If you want to know my truth, this is my truth in terms of what I think will happen. We will not be on Azeroth anymore. Guys, think about it this way. Everybody's been saying for a WoW 2. Okay, let me pause. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, people have been calling for WoW 2. Number two, it was made very clear by Blizzard Entertainment that they pulled developers off of things like Season of Discovery, off of things like Hardcore, Classic, free secret project. Number three, there are only so many more mystery fucking islands we can discover on this goddamn Forsaken map. So what do those three all add up to be? A new world. Now, my biggest thing is Azeroth will come out. Now, again, I actually like the idea that Azeroth is bad and the Titans want her to awaken to finish their agenda. I don't think the Titans are good. I think the Titans are bad. Hear me very clearly. The Titans are the evil. They want Azeroth to hatch, if you want to, okay, they want her to hatch because she can fulfill their prophecy of whatever evilness they can bring about. Maybe Azeroth is a fucking old god. We ever think of that? Okay, so that's reason number one. Now, if she hatches and kablooey goes the world, where the fuck else are we gonna go? We're gonna get in our little probably Draenei spaceships and we're gonna on to the next world. They came here, we can do it again, right? So I think what is going to happen at the end of Last Titan is she will emerge. We will believe that we are helping her emerge for the good. We're helping her. She's been calling out for help. We still don't kind of know really who's calling out for help. Like, we know it's Azeroth, but like we don't know like who. Who was Sargeras stabbing? Like, it's a little fuzzy. But I genuinely think the world will explode. We will have to go to a new world, which allows Blizzard to kind of revamp WoW 2. Now, my last and concluding reason for this is UX, UI. Now, think about it this way. With Midnight, we are seeing things be revamped. We are seeing new graphics emerge. They're looking at mounts differently. They're going more detailed. Zones are becoming more detailed. Do you really think they're going to go back in time and do that for all those old zones? No. A new world after The Last Titan allows Blizzard to launch Unreal Engine 5 finally and fully. World of Warcraft will run like never before. It will be a new world. There will be high-tech graphics. Guys, I'm telling you, this is canon in my head. Believe it or not, this is canon. So, long story short, if you weren't here when I said all of that, Last Titan, World will erupt. We will go to a new world because it fits the agenda of where Blizzard is taking the game for quote-unquote WoW 2. Okay? Long story short. All right. Next one, Malagos is still falling to this day, eternally, forever, and never touching the ground again. That's sad to think about. Oh my god, okay, wait. This particular person had a lot, so we're gonna go through them. Amenthul faked the original story. He actually traveled back in time to build the Pantheon and created this timeline, which is why he cares about protecting it. I could see that. That might fit my agenda. Okay, I can see that. We've never really seen chaos because Burning Legion is what happens when one force, the Order, takes over another force, chaos, and molds it into the shape it wants. Death also probably, in my opinion. And in Elune conspiracy, Elune is the Winter Queen's sister, not because she's the first one's robot, but because she entered the life Azeroth and took on the powers of the life goddesshood, which inherently connects her to the Winter Queen as they're supposed to be working in tandem. Again, you're kind of bringing in more of that Shadowlands. That could be interesting. I think I need to replay Shadowlands. All right, last couple ones here. The Titans are actually behind the old gods. Sargeras went mad when he found out, and that's why he fought and imprisoned them. Kaz, you were on the same... Oh, sorry. I mentioned your name. You were on the same wavelength as us. Stay tuned. The destruction of Stormwind Park was an inside job. Dragonfire can't melt mason bricks. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Keep those wheels turning. All right, guys, that was it. Well, wait. Hang on. All right, last one. We are still under N'Zoth's illusion, and everything post BFA is not real. That would be a powerful fucking illusion. For N'Zoth to be able to mind control everyone and everything since BFA. That is power never before seen. That would be insane. But yeah, guys, listen, tell me your conspiracies, please, because I think we're all kind of in the same boat here, and I want to be right. I want to be right, not because I want to be like, I told you guys so. I want to be right because I think I know where this is going. I think for once in my life, I can see clearly now. But I may need to go replay Shadowlands. I feel like there's a lot I missed in Shadowlands because when I first played it the first time, we ended our sub and we came back at like the end of Shadowlands. So I was just like focused on leveling really quickly, and I really haven't gone back to Shadowlands since. So I think I do need to maybe go through Shadowlands Remix. Anybody? I think I need to go back through Shadowlands and kind of look at a little bit more of the lore and see if that ties up any of my loose ends. And then maybe Dragonflight, because I don't think I paid enough attention during Dragonflight. But I think if I do, it might tie up some of my loose ends. Stay tuned. I'm going to keep you guys up to date on my conspiracy theories. But interesting. Let me know what yours are. And it could be about anything again. I don't really care. I want to know. What are we thinking? Are we all on the same wavelength? Let me know. And if it really gets crazy, I'm going to post it to the Blizzard forums. And we're going to find some conspiracies that way. Okay. Thank you for joining me, everybody, on this lovely rainy Tuesday. It is disgusting here. I've been under a nor'easter for 3 days now, and it's exhausting. I want to go outside. I want to breathe some fresh air. So hopefully you're not in a rainy tundra. Hopefully you're somewhere warm. And with that, go play some Remix. Go get your vaults. Good luck on your vaults. And I'll see you guys Friday for Forum Fridays. And maybe a little funsy stuff. Anyways, have a great rest of your Tuesday. I'll see you guys later. Bye.